Hi everybody, it's Amy again from Consortium Private Wealth. I thought I'd do a very quick video this week on help debts. We recently received a question from somebody wondering if they should be paying it off, so I thought I would do a very quick video and hopefully it helps more than just one person out there. First of all, a help debt is a higher education loan program debt. It has been famously low for years and years and years. To acquire a help debt, you will have done some higher education, gone to university, and your fees for university then go onto this help debt if you choose to pay for it that way. Like I said, the interest rates have been famously low on these. It's ranged from 0.6% per annum to 2.3%. Last year we saw it at 3.9%, which was the highest it's ever been. And then this year, the interest rate on help debt will be 7%. Help debt is unlike a regular, like a house debt or a personal debt, in the way that the interest rate applied on help debts are in line with the consumer price index, so CPI, which is also known as inflation. So for the past 12 months to date, the inflation has been at a rate of 7%, meaning come 1st of June 2023, all of our help debt will be indexed at 7%, which is quite large considering previous debts and the fact it has been known to be famously low. It's important to note as well that there's no one-size-fits-all approach approaching any debts. What I'm explaining today is not personal advice, and I don't want you to take it literally and do anything that I say. Possibly the most important aspect will be your personal views on debt. If you are somebody that is stressed out with the thought of debt and owing money to somebody, it may be worthwhile putting a little bit extra and doing some extra contributions onto your help debt, because it can be a stepping stone in getting your finances under control. If this is the case and you do want to really wrangle your debt, I would suggest that you look at other debts you might have. If you've got surplus cash flow as well, make sure you've got enough cash to pay your current commitments, and then anything extra can be given as a voluntary contribution to repayments. But the most important thing to consider would be that you prioritise your debt in line with interest rates. So if you have a personal loan that might be at 10%, you would definitely look at paying that one off before paying off the help debt at 7%. Just because there has been this really big jump in rates, you still want to be prioritising debt with the highest interest rate paid off first. On the other hand, if you are somebody that looks at debt as a building block into building your wealth, you might consider options where your surplus cash flow might go into investments, for example, where you are trying to achieve a higher than 7% return so that you are still in the forefront. Again, it's completely personal what you want to do and how you view debt, but that's just something to consider. Another thing to consider is your future goals. You might be saving for a house, you might be wanting to contribute into superannuation. Now, if you're a young person, I know you've completely disregarded the word superannuation because it's just out of sight, out of mind. But there are definitely some things to consider that are good about superannuation, and especially if buying your first home is a goal that you would like to achieve. And with that, I will introduce the First Home Super Saver Scheme. And I know we've talked about this in a few different videos that we've put out before, but this one is extremely relevant to a young person that may have a help debt, because I know the young people are the ones using that First Home Super Saver Scheme to buy their first home. So a quick snapshot of what the First Home Super Saver Scheme is. It really just allows you to make personal contributions into your superannuation in a tax concessional way. So if you were to contribute into tax, the money on the way in goes in at 15%, whereas if you received that cash just from the employer and kept it in your bank account, it would be taxed at your marginal tax rate. Now, I'll put on the screen what your marginal tax rate brackets are, but if you are within the $45,000 to $120,000 bracket, your tax rate will be the 34.5%, including Medicare levy. So by putting it into superannuation instead, you are saving almost 20% in tax, and that is pretty much equates to every 20 cents on every dollar that goes into superannuation would be saved. Investing into superannuation is also a really smart thing to do if you are looking to build your wealth for the long term, because you can really take advantage of compounding interest from the beginning. Another really good incentive about superannuation is the government co-contribution scheme. So if you meet certain eligibility criteria, which I'll put a link for that in the description box, the government will match your contribution up to $500. So again, that's a really great way to get that money into superannuation and compounding interest over the long term. Of course, again, at the end of the day, whether or not you want to pay off your help debt is completely up to you. And keep in mind that, yes, while the help debt is there and it will need to be paid down over time, you don't need to make any voluntary extra contributions towards paying that off. I'll put on the screen as well a bracket example of however much income you receive, the government will automatically pay or take some from your salary and pay off your help debt. Otherwise, that's all from me this week, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any other questions, please send them through and we will answer all of them with a video. Thank you. Bye.